Welcome in, Dragon Ball Super Dope. My name is Kyle. Thank you for checking this out. So we're going to do a few things today. We are going to talk about episode 18 of Dragon Ball Daima. It's called Awakening. And we all know the big news and what happened in this episode, so we're mostly here to talk about that. However, two other things that I follow pretty closely. Obviously, Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm a bit of a fucking dweeb. I watched Captain America this morning. And Cobra Kai, Karate Kid universe. Love that stuff. So I wanted to talk briefly about Cobra Kai as well after we do Dragon Ball stuff, and I'll talk about them, pretty spoiler free. So that way, if you haven't seen them yet, hopefully it entices you to go check them out and enjoy that shit along with me. But if it doesn't, you'll have like 4 or 5 minutes worth of shit to fast forward through. So anyway, let's do episode 18. I don't remember what episode we left off on because I haven't done an episode in a few weeks. My brain's been all over the place, but I want to honestly say episode 14 might have been the last episode we've done. So it's been a little bit of a minute, but the internet was set ablaze today. Apparently Crunchyroll's service crashed around 1 o'clock Eastern. I didn't watch right at 1 o'clock. I watched more like close to 2 or 2:30, and I didn't have any problems watching it. I'm kind of hard pressed to believe that it crashed a server if I'm being real. That might just be some fucking artificial hype, but let's read the synopsis for this and kind of go through, and we'll take a couple breaks throughout so I can throw out some additional commentary on stuff I did or did not like. That's literally what this whole show is. Episode 18, Awakening. Goku fights Goma, and the two trade blows for some time, inspiring Do to aid the former being Goku. Ku throws a chocolate cookie to him, allowing Do to increase his power. Do mimics Goku's Super Saiyan 3 transformation, and the two fight together until Do's sugar rush ends. Alright, pause. So yeah, at the end of the last episode, Goku goes Super Saiyan 3, and if I'm being real, I saw the way Super Saiyan 3 was animated. Part of it's because he's in a chibi body, but also, if you look at the face, and like, the way that they do the shading, it has that sort of plasticky GT look to it, which has not been a consistent thing through this series, but it certainly was when Goku went Super Saiyan 3. He looks like he's straight out of fucking Dragon Ball GT in terms of the shading. Maybe not like with that tan fucking skin. GT Goku has notoriously tan skin. This one has like a very, it's much more consistent in its skin tone, but it's shiny. I don't know. There's no better way for me to say it. I'm not very articulate. Get me a fucking break. But I did appreciate Do, having his Majin Buu moment with the sugar rush, and, Super Saiyan 3 Majin Do confirmed. I mean, I can't wait to buy that toy. Seriously, I will buy that toy the day that they fucking make one. Let's see. Still, Goku and the Tamagami fight Goma, albeit at a disadvantage. I love that the Tamagami's still in this shit too. I feel like I've missed a couple of good things to talk about over the last few weeks because, again, my brain's a fucking wreck. But the Tamagami being in on this shit really, it's so much fun. It gives me life a little bit because otherwise it'd just be, these not useless, but these, what's the right word I'm looking for? Like they don't have their own objective in mind. They lack free will. Maybe that's a better way to put it. I'm not sure. The fact that they can throw down on this shit, I love it. And it just like proves how powerful they are. The fact that they're going toe to toe with Goma, even though Goku and everyone else is having a tough time with it. I love the fact that the Tamagami is in on this. Let's see. When Goma knocks down Goku, he begins charging a finishing attack. However, never uses his magic to grant Goku more power, allowing him to regrow his tail and transform into Super Saiyan 4 for the first time. Shout out to everybody who from the very start of them being like, this series is about them getting turned into little kids. Okay, it's just GT 2.0. What are they going to do? Make SSJ4 canon? And I was like, nah, probably not, guys. Like, yeah, similar premise, but it'll be its own thing. Hey, pretty sure I said it in the last episode or two. I'll eat my words. This is very much, I don't want to say GT 2.0, but it very much is GT as done by Toriyama. And what's ironic to me about that is the things that they borrow heavily from for GT, outside of the general premise of them being kids. But like, I mean, specifically like this Super Saiyan 4 thing, and also the idea of like the Giant episode. Like, anytime that there's like direct homages to what's going on in Dragon Ball GT, especially in those early episodes, Daima has not done them all that well. Super Saiyan 4 included. And by that I mean, if you're, I've watched the Baby Saga, I don't know, half a dozen, maybe a dozen times in my life. It's when Dragon Ball GT becomes good. And even after that, it dips again and gets bad before it gets good again when a Mega Shenron shows. So I say a lot to say, I've watched the Super Saiyan 4 transformation a million fucking times. I'm picturing it in my brain right now. GT does all of the GT beats better. You know what I mean? All the stuff that Daima tries to borrow from GT actually did it better. The fucking irony of this being an Akira Toriyama thing, a GT as by Akira Toriyama, and all the GT shit he borrows, GT actually fucking did better. The fucking irony, bro. I saw somebody make a comment today that was like, Akira Toriyama really gave us GT 2.0 and then dipped. I'm mad. I'm kind of mad too, but I said this in one of the last manga chapters, so it's been, whenever the last manga chapter came out for the actual series, which, by the way, there's a new manga chapter coming out next week on the 22nd, I believe. It's a one-shot chapter, and it's a prequel to the prequel for Dragon Ball Super Superhero. So, it's before Dragon Ball Super Superhero when the boys, get into being superhero. SAIYAN X1 and 2. It's a prequel to that. A one-shot prequel to that, and how Trunks gets obsessed with superheroes. So we have that to look forward to, I guess. Anyway, how did I even get here? My point is, anytime that Toriyama tries to do a GT thing, ironically, GT kind of did it better. But that's not to say that he didn't do other things in this series, right? The series has been a lot of fun. Pacing has been a tremendous fucking issue throughout, and I will go to my fucking grave saying that. The series is paced super questionably. It's so fast sometimes, and I think this episode actually is a good example of super fast pacing. If you think about what happens in this episode from beginning to end, you probably don't look at it on the grand scheme as moving the plot forward, but it kind of does. So much happens though, including this Super Saiyan 4 transformation. I think one of the last episodes, one of these recent discussions on Daima, I'd said something to the effect of I didn't expect Neva to join the main cast. I knew that he would come in throughout and maybe make some things happen. Maybe he's there in the beginning. Maybe he's there in the end. And then he joined the main party of the RPG I'm fucking playing. And he just makes everything happen all the time, including Super Saiyan 4. So instead of Grand Kaioshin and Kibito Kai trying to pull Goku's tail literally out of his ass with a pair of tweezers, Neva just does it in an instant because he has all of the magic, I guess. Let me get back to the synopsis. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Transforms into Super Saiyan 4 for the first time. Goku battles Goma with support from Piccolo, Shin, and Glorio, but Vegeta is too injured, which makes me think Vegeta's going to be the guy to find the bugs, the revive bugs, the fusion bugs. I mean, Neva drew that shit out of Goku. Why not draw that shit out of Vegeta too? Heal that boy up. Give him the Zenkai boost, the Super Saiyan 4. Because I do wonder how much of it was him drawing out some kind of latent power versus him giving him a Super Zenkai boost while he's sitting there in Super Saiyan 3 form. Now, that's some stupid power scaling shit that I'm usually very against, but I genuinely did have that question while I was watching it today. I don't think it's too much to look into. I'm just overanalyzing shit because, I make a stupid Dragon Ball podcast. Goku battles Goma with support from Piccolo, Shin, and Glorio. Vegeta is too injured. He'll probably find the bugs. Goku launches a Kamehameha toward Goma and appears to defeat him, but Goma returns. Excuse me. I have been sick like 4 different times since Thanksgiving. I got COVID on Thanksgiving really bad, and I've been sick like at least 3 times after that. And I don't know, man. Maybe I'm going to die, but excuse my sniffling is my point. Goma returns. He then uses his magic to trap Goku and remove his power. So he becomes, if there's a certain point in this episode earlier on where Goku is basically on the ground and so is King Goma, and Goku is basically the size of King Goma's boot. Now, if he's a small child, approximately in the 1st grade, how tall you think he is? Like 3 feet, maybe? I don't fucking know how tall kids are. I feel like 3 feet's a pretty safe bet. If that's the case, King Goma already, before he goes through this even bigger transformation, King Goma must be like 25, somewhere in there, feet tall. Hilarious. Because they're like, oh, if we had adult bodies, bitch, if you had adult bodies, he'd still have you by like 20 feet. That's the first thing. The second thing is, when he does do this like a new form after getting blasted by a Kamehameha, which by the way, also GT undertones, right? Because when he throws it out there, the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, which his proportions are strange, man. And also he's got red hair versus black hair. Where they're calling it Super Saiyan 4 in this this recap that I'm reading, and we're all calling it. It very much is that, duh, right? But I do wonder, like, why the minor changes, and the most minor, or I guess the biggest change, I should say, is the hair color from straight up black to what looks very much like Super Saiyan God Red. But also, if you look at the proportions of like his fists and his wrists, he's got some chonky ass fucking fists, bro. It's like meant to look like some ape shit, I believe. Hopefully that's on purpose. A show with this kind of animation budget. I can't believe it. I can't believe it would be an accident. But yeah, man, I don't know. I kind of like the Super Saiyan 4 look, but it is different seeing it in a chibi form. But what does he face up to? Right? He faces up to, oh shit, I almost forgot to hit the GT note. My bad. He hits the Kamehameha and he hits him with the blue, right? It's a blue wave. And I'm like, oh, that's a little different. It'd be cool if they gave him like the red Kamehameha times final Kamehameha times 10, you know what I mean? From GT, like that'd be so cool to see. And they hit him with the blue. And then like some red shit comes over it, like some fire from his aura kind of goes through the Kamehameha and it like makes it look like that. And I was like, fuck yeah, these guys knew exactly what I wanted to see. Good call, boys. There was a lot to enjoy about this episode. I will say, I do want to talk about Captain America, right? But I watched Captain America this morning. Kind of a spoiler. I didn't like it. It was not a very good film. Unfortunately, I wanted it to be good, but it was not a very good film. So I finish up and I'm taking a piss before I get in my car to go home. And I'm trying to like flush out the shit from my brain. Because also, post-credit scene, shitty. I'm trying to flush it out from my brain. So I just like open up my Facebook and I'm scrolling for a fucking minute blindly, mindlessly as I'm taking a piss. And then I see a picture of Super Saiyan 4 Goku. It is 10 past 1 in the afternoon. Yes, I went to see Captain America at 11 a.m. It is 10 past 1 in the afternoon. It just hit Crunchyroll and motherfuckers are already making social posts about it. Furthering my point, my thesis, whatever you want to call it, that people who make Dragon Ball content professionally, social media wise, to get clicks and sell stuff or get sponsors, those people are the fucking worst. They, how you say, suck balls. And they ruined it a lot. We were talking on the Discord. I saw at least like 2 or 3 people have that shit ruined for them just because they, forgot what time it was and checked their socials. Fucking sucks, man. I saw the picture and I was like, oh no. Well, that looked kind of goofy, so maybe it's not real. And I put my phone away, got in my car, drove home, washed it immediately. And I was like, oh no, I did have it spoiled for me. Balls. But I be pooping. Anyway, let's get back to this thing. Oh, the Goma transformation now, where he's like a super giant guy. Doesn't that have like Zamasu vibes a little bit? I will say though, when he traps Goku in that ball and basically reverses his power ups from Super Saiyan 4, 3, 1 base, and then knocks his ass out, very cool. I enjoyed the imagery of that, and I do wonder if we'll ever see Super Saiyan 4 again before this series is up. With 2 episodes left, I hope that we do. I don't see why we wouldn't. Let's see. Goma knocks Goku down. He begins charging a finishing attack. However, Neva uses his magic to grant Goku more power, allowing him to regrow his tail and transform into Super Saiyan 4 for the first time. Didn't I already read this? Goku battles Goma. I did read all this. He then uses his magic to trap Goku and remove his power. Meanwhile, Glorio receives a call from Arinzu, who asks him to bring her the Dragon Balls. Once he arrives at her location, it is revealed Glorio has learned the Namekian language, and Arinzu orders him to summon the dragon, a red variation of Purunga. So I don't have too much to say about this outside of Hybis. Such a trusting man. I think Reese in the Discord, shout out to my friend Reese, I'm pretty sure he's the one who said, I feel like Hybis, given that Hybis has done these 2 fucking stupid things now, giving up the third eye and giving up the Dragon Balls, maybe he'll be the one to find the bug pouch and, have some kind of, give them the ability to have either a last minute heal or some kind of miracle fusion. So I feel like Hybis has the opportunity to make good. Hopefully they'll give him that opportunity. His new hat is fucking dope, bro. But anyway, yeah, Glorio, this is like the moment that I've been waiting for. Like, what's he gonna do when it comes push to shove? Because he seems like he's on our team, man. He seems like he's in it for the right reasons, even though he's been less than transparent at times. But I don't know. I think he sees Arinzu as a greater threat than Goma, even because Goma is a fucking dummy. Now, granted, he's a big, strong dummy with the Tertian Oculus or whatever, but at the end of the day, he's fucking stupid. Imagine if Arinzu gets this type of power and she's capable and she's smart and she knows how to make decisions and, and her whole thing is like, I want to be the Demon King, the Demon Lady King, so I can go out there and fuck up the outside world. Like, Goma doesn't have those aspirations, so he understands how much more dangerous she could potentially be. But the fact that he learns the Namekian, pretty badass. Like, I assumed they'd make Neva do it, and that's why he's been around the whole time. Like, literally the one thing I expected Neva to do toward the end of this series was to be the guy to summon the dragon. And I'm like, oh, he's here the whole time. He's been doing all these things for everybody. Nope. Glorio learned Namekian. I don't know if no, I love it. Anyway, when the red Purunga appears, she commands Glorio to tell Purunga she wants to become the Supreme Demon King, which he seemingly does, although his wish is not known. And when he makes the wish, there's like this big, reality kind of glass shattering thing that happens, and then it just cuts to credits. And in my brain, when he made the wish, I was like, I hope the fucking theme song kicks in right now and they all do a reverse transformation from the first episode from kids into adults and they can fuck Goma up. That'd be cool. But nah, it cuts to credits. I don't imagine he made the wish to make her the Supreme Demon King. I imagine he did it either for himself. Maybe he does wish to transform them into adults again. Maybe he makes Neva the Supreme Demon King. I've been thinking that for a bit. And since he spent so much time with him being in the party, the last however many episodes, that could make sense. Neva becomes the Supreme Demon King, and he already has like such a head start on magic with everybody, him being like 80 fucking million years old or whatever, but also all the things that we've seen him do, him being the guy who created the Dragon Balls. It would make a lot of sense for that dude to be in charge, in my personal opinion. So, do I hate this? No. Do I see how much of a blatant fan service thing that this was today? Yes, I do. And I think a lot of people have that question of like, this makes no sense. Dragon Ball Super is after this and they never do Super Saiyan 4 and they never talk about it. I do firmly believe that there will be some sort of memory wipe if they do want to keep this all canon. So I guess we'll see how this rounds out, but I feel like a memory wipe is going to have to be inevitable. Otherwise, the canon of Dragon Ball Super means a hell of a lot less, and lacks a bunch of really good context and extra lore, Not that it's super relevant context or lore to the stories that we see in Super, but it does make the world feel a little bit deeper, and it would be kind of a shame to, intentionally never have those things. I don't know. I don't know. I'm calling memory wipe. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So that's Dragon Ball Super. That's Dragon Ball Daima. I wish we got Super. I want to see Maro, dude. Me too, honestly. Although Daima hasn't been terrible, pacing has been weird. Animation has been beautiful. It's been very funny. It's been very fun. I'm just happy we got new stuff to talk about. Moro probably would have been cooler to see. However, I already know how Moro goes. So I'm a little torn on that subject. Do I appreciate having the unexpected thing to talk about versus the thing that I saw in a comic book 4 years ago? Yeah, I don't know. Allegedly, this shit broke Crunchyroll today, though. So that's interesting. So that's all I'm doing for Dragon Ball. We'll do Cobra Kai next. Only because I assume I'm going to go into an America rant at the end. Because America, man, you're breaking my heart and you're pissing me off. Cobra Kai was fine. It was actually really good. And by really good, I mean like get me hooked the whole time. I thought it was a 6-episode thing. I started it last night and I was like, I'll watch 2. And then maybe I'll finish the rest tomorrow on the day off. And I watched all 5. But I went in thinking it was 6. And I was like, shit, idiot, you can't do math very well. Halfway through episode 5, I was like, this is the finale. I'm watching the end of Cobra Kai. And what I'll say is, in terms of like, keeping things spoiler free, the people who win ultimately are the people who I've always considered the most Karate Kid motherfuckers, meaning the 2 children champions, okay? But like they did a really good job making it or keeping it about Johnny Lawrence and it being his story. Because it could have been really easy to just let them do the Daniel LaRusso thing and have it be his story. It very much is both of their stories, but in the bigger like scope, it's Johnny's story. It's his arc. Daniel has an arc in there as well, as does Chosen, as does all the kids. Everybody's arc is very satisfying, if I'm being real. And I had a good time with it. Choreography in the last couple episodes was pretty cool. And they also used You're the Best Around, finally. I'm not sure that they've used it in this series to this point. Maybe one other time. But I did an acoustic cover of it, and it's one of my favorite acoustic covers I've ever done. So when they used it in the episode, I was like, fuck yeah, dog. Fight till you drop. Never stop, can't give up till you reach the top. Fight. You're the best in town. Listen to that sound. A little bit of all you got could never bring you down. You're the best. All right, I'm done. Yeah, that's about as much as I can say about Cobra Kai. I don't think I'm going to do like a full-on breakdown of the last 5 episodes. I'm having a tough enough time doing weekly Daima episodes, and there's only 2 of those left. So I'm just having a tough time talking lately. I don't think that makes a lot of sense to you guys without further context, and I'm fine with that. But I'm just having a tough time talking. I'm having a tough time hearing my own voice. Maybe that's a better way to put it. But lastly, watched Captain America this morning. And you guys know me. I love America. Also, I love Captain America. Captain America is probably my favorite character in the MCU. He's not my favorite comic book character. MCU Cap is fucking top tier shit for me, though. I really love that dude. And I really like Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson in all of the Captain America, or not all, he's not in the first one, but he's in the second and third one, all the Avenger movies. I really like. I even like fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier. Not a lot of people like that show. I liked it a lot. What I realized today, again, non-spoiler shit. What I realized today is that Anthony Mackie, I don't believe is a leading man for a movie. He's a great number 2. He's a great like buddy cop guy. He has the ability to do funny. He has the ability to do like very serious monologues. But for some reason, dude, when it's all on his shoulders, it just, I don't know, it doesn't feel great. That said, the dialogue in this movie, it feels like a fucking second draft fucking deal, dude. It feels so stilted and dumb and fake and artificial and just I don't know. There's very little positive I can share about this new Captain America movie. Some of the action scenes are pretty cool. Even Harrison Ford, man. I was not a fan of Harrison Ford of this movie. Harrison Ford is the first movie star that I ever registered as a person. You know what I mean? Like, Han Solo was my dude when I was, going back to like 4 or 5 years old. And then Indiana Jones was my dude. And the day that I figured out they were the same fucking guy, I was like, Harrison Ford is a god amongst men. And he certainly fucking is. But I would have loved the universe where William Hurt doesn't die. And William Hurt was the Red Hulk in this movie. You could tell a little bit, in my opinion at least, that Harrison Ford was mailing it isn't the right word, but like just wasn't taking it super seriously. Maybe is the better way to put it. I don't know. Again, some of the action scenes are really fun. If you're thinking about sticking around for the post credits and you really gotta pee, or if you just, are really bored, just leave. Just leave. I'm not going to tell you what the post credits is, but I will tell you what it basically alludes to. It says, there are other universes out there and they're going to come fight you. That's it. It's like, no shit, dog. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for the fucking reset of the MCU. Recast everybody from the beginning. Let's go. Give me the fucking X-Men already. That's all I fucking want. Like, I want a proper introduction of the X-Men in the MC fucking U already. Keep playing this nostalgia shit for the next few years through Secret Wars, Doom Wars, whatever. But Jesus Christ, dude, reboot this shit already. Give me a new Captain America, Steve Rogers. Give me the fucking X-Men already. But yeah, unfortunately, Cap wasn't as good as I'd hoped. I kind of figured, man. It's notoriously gone through like, a bunch of different reshoots, a bunch of different rewrites. Had like 5 story buy credits, 5 screenplay buy credits. I was watching it today. I was like, dude, when you see 5 motherfuckers' names on a movie, that movie is probably going to be fucking doomed. No pun intended, because Doctor Doom, But yeah, and unfortunately, it wasn't a good time. It wasn't the worst Marvel movie ever. It was not The Eternals or Thor 2, which I personally feel are the 2 worst Marvel movies ever, but that's just me. But yeah, I got it over with, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to go see it again. Scott, I went by myself, dude. Scott was like, hey, man, you want to go this weekend? I was like, if it's good, I'll go a second time. It is not good, dude. It is not good. Speaking of not good, just lastly, I don't love to get political on the public feed because people get like offended or, God forbid you hear me talking like a fucking frat bro saying motherfucker dick cock and shit, And then you're like, holy shit, he has some empathy. It's not even empathy today. It's more just like, I guess kind of empathy, but remember when everyone was like, George Soros, the secret billionaire benefactor of the entire U.S. government? Motherfucker, you are watching George Soros, but his name is Elon Musk. Do what he's doing right now. And the people who are on board with it, holy shit, man, they are doing some very serious mental gymnastics to like make themselves feel okay with it. They're like, somebody spent $40,000 on a gay opera. That's one of my favorite ones because it's such a minuscule amount, like $40,000. It was like a fucking grant, like a grant for the arts or some shit, and they made a fucking gay opera or whatever. Who cares? That's the shit that they report on the news. Meanwhile, Elon Musk gets like, I saw some senator do a really good breakdown of it the other day. The average Social Security recipient, they receive an average of like $65 a day, Stretch that out over the course of the month. That's their, monthly Social Security payment. The average 65 plus gets $65 a month. Elon Musk gets $65 a day, rather. I'm sorry. Elon Musk gets $8 million a day from the fucking government. Talk about a welfare queen. Just because they're fucking finding things that they paid checks out to does not make it fraud. Just because you did not agree with it ideologically does not make it fraud. They're about to cut Medicaid by almost $1 trillion. I do genuinely wonder what's going to happen to senior care in this country in the next, I don't know, months. We're being robbed by the biggest robber baron of all time. And you should be concerned about that. And if you're not, if you think like if you're nice to Elon, he's going to give you some money or whatever, get over that shit, dude. I used to think like that when I was around 24, 25, 26. And the reason was because not like I followed a dude on Twitter. Not like it was some dude whose books I read and I aspired to look, aspired to be like somebody I looked up to. Not even that. I had a literal billionaire, a man worth about $4 to $6 billion, depending on the year. I had a man with that kind of net worth, liquid, by the way, not even in the fucking stock market like Elon Musk and his shit. He would stop by my desk once a day and ask me what I did. Because I was on this like new special assignment after I got laid off and brought back to the company for this new experimental role. And it was very much like a, hey, Kyle, figure out the job or else you're going to be laid off again sort of situation. So I worked very hard and I figured it out. But yeah, he stopped by my desk every day for, not quite 6 months, but like in that 3 to 4 month span, probably. Hey, man, what'd you do? Show me what you did. And I was like, I took the lead on that shit. It was me and this other dude who is still a very good friend of mine to this day. Shout out to Slats, but I don't know. I took the lead a little bit and I feel like I impressed him, And I was like, man, one of these days, Dennis is gonna, I shouldn't have said his name. He's gonna give me, some money because he knows that I'm deserving and that I'm very poor. Yeah, fucking right, dog. I used to have to fight with his son. His son eventually became my manager. Worst time of my life. I ended up leaving the company shortly thereafter. That dude used to routinely fight me and my employees that I managed for $2,000 bonuses for making hires of people who sold millions of dollars worth of product in a given year. $2,000 I had to fight for. I think that's when I got radicalized, was dealing with Dennis's dumbass son. So I say all of that to say, I understand the thought process of like, maybe if I'm nice to the billionaire, they'll give me something. I was in the room with the billionaire. The billionaire was my boss. The billionaire knew my name. The billionaire made it a point to come see what the fuck I did every goddamn day, and I did well. And he still fought me on every goddamn dollar that I could have gotten from him in terms of compensation. Stop sucking the dick of Elon Musk. Stop saying that Democrats are worried about being found out for fraud, because the USAID has been a a renowned service from both left and right since it was started in the 60s. And who's losing out, dude? All these Medicaid recipients are about to lose out real hard. And I'll tell you what, a lot of Trump voters got Medicaid, dog. A lot of poor people need that sort of public fucking help. They're about to feel it. Who's already felt it? Farmers and fucking SNAP and WIC recipients. So people who grow the food and the people who fucking get that food. It's like a major part of our ongoing agriculture economy. Meanwhile, they're going to buy $400 million worth of armored Cybertrucks. But I'm the fucking moron for telling you guys that you should be wary of what's going on. It is literally a constitutional crisis. Very scary out here. Maybe not for me, because I'm a white dude, but Puerto Rican friends, I know I got, they're doing these ICE raids now. I actually, last quick little aside, you guys know I'm fucking very Portuguese, right? The major metropolitan areas nearest to me, like the city I was born in, Fall River, and New Bedford, it's two of the most highly concentrated Portuguese populations in the country. I don't think it's number one, but it's probably number 2 or 3. I know they got a pretty heavy population in certain parts of New Jersey, as well as like specific parts of California. But us up here, we're specifically like a heavy population from the Azores, right? Where my family's from. One of my old, I think I'm going to call him a friend because he's kind of a fucking douchebag if I'm being real. But this kid that I know that I worked with on a podcast a few years back during COVID, he's a journalist and he does like a lot of reporting on immigration stuff. He released this thing about how all of these officials, local elected officials in the Fall River and New Bedford area are getting ready basically for them to come in and scoop up Azorian immigrants who they suspect to be illegal. Now, part of me is like, maybe they'll take my mom. That's a joke. But also, my mom did immigrate here when she was 4. I don't know if she did it legally. I assume she did. I assume she thinks she did. I assume her parents told her she did. But did she actually? She probably won't get deported because she's now been married to an American citizen for 25 fucking, I don't know how many years. Probably coming up on 30 years soon. She's probably fine. She doesn't look like she looks like a white lady. But I definitely have cousins who could be on that list. I definitely have friends in the city of Fall River who could be on that list. Ugh. All right, this has gone on a little bit too long. Thanks for listening and indulging my bullshit. I appreciate y'all. I'll probably cut the politics shit from the public cut. That's probably safe to do. Oh, shit, should I? Yeah, probably not. You know what? Fuck the man. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Thanks for listening and subscribe, like it, whatever. I'll do an episode. The next time I do an episode, that's when I'll do an episode. All right? Love y'all. No, that's not it. I don't care. Bye.